Hello, hello! Welcome to the channel. If it's your first time being here, just a reminder. I was recently live as I did a reaction to the most recent chapter of One Piece. That's why I have the pirate hat on. And if you would like to see that, I have a playlist in the channel, my reactions to the One Piece manga starting around the Elbaf arc, so you can go watch that if you want to. There's probably not going to be a link to that in the description, but there is a playlist on the channel. You can find it. I have faith in you. However, today we are here because there's going to be an animation for Sandrone that was going to drop today. I knew I would be live around the time, so I figured we get a rare live reaction to this. So, if you want to see more stuff like this from me while I'm live, Twitch TV/Sheet Streams is where I do all my live content. And if you want to be informed on when I'm going live and what I'm doing when I'm going live, then you should join my Discord. This was announced in my Discord, and if you were aware of that, then you can be here now to witness me live. Now, this has already got 20,000 views, and it's been out for probably 10 minutes. So here we go. Ooh, looking at the description, as I always like to do when I start, looks like we're going to be getting into some funeral scenes. Here lies Alain Guillotine, founding director of the Research Institute of Kinetic Energy Engineering, White Cavalier of Protection, Lord Artificer. May the waters protect his soul. May he be troubled by suffering no more. May the waters guide his soul safely across to the other shore. Regrettably, there is nothing more to say. Well, Sandrone is a character that I have been very excited for, and I am really happy to know that she will be the next character we will be pulling for on Genshin, so without further ado, let's get a reaction going to this animated short. Wait, I say animated short, it's 7 minutes and 44 seconds. This is going to be a long one. This is probably all I'm doing for the rest of the day. I still have to do a little bit of an off-screen recording later, so I will probably be very busy, but I will hopefully have this uploaded on the channel in a decent amount of time. It'll probably be up by Tuesday on the YouTube channel, but it will be uploaded, and because I'm doing it live for once, that means that people will get access to this early if they just follow me on Twitch. Let's put captions on. Here we go. I probably want to keep the quality up high. Let's cap it at 1080 and not make sure it's frozen. We actually read about Sandrone attending Elaine's funeral in her diary that we get at the end of the, what was it, Act 8 of the Song of the Welcome Moon. Oh, that's Sandrone's theme we can hear in the background. Does the wind-up key fit under that cloak? That's right, she used to sing outside Sandrone's room. I also noticed there was no credited VA in this short, so I wonder if there will actually be speaking.
What is it, Columbina? I said no singing around here.
Good morning, Sandrone.
Good morning. I couldn't tell if it was morning.
I was worried you'd oversleep and miss the Harbinger meeting. So I came to check on you.
Oh, is this during the 2.8 Harbinger meeting?
Yes. But you seem to be having an unpleasant dream. I just wanted to help. Oh, and I like your pajamas. You look quite...
Well, they actually showed an image of her in her pajamas when they announced that this trailer was going to come out 3 days ago, and people are comparing her to Herta from Honkai Star Rail, and I'd see the resemblance. I can't unsee it. Right as rain. Oh.
Are you okay, Ellen?
Uh-oh.
Right as rain.
That's what he used to say.
The doctor looked so...
Oh, I love this animation style. There he is. Alain Guillotine.
How can I help?
This is a much more reserved Sandrone than we're used to.
Do you have a wish?
No.
For you to get better.
Oh.
Don't waste a precious wish on an old man like me.
I think she mentioned this in her diary.
Come, take a look at this.
Was he going to show her Polonia? Yeah!
Newest invention, Polonia.
Polonia. Yes, this is the Harbinger
These
meeting.
are an indispensable part of
Oh
Her
no.
Majesty the Tsaritsa's grand design.
Oh, is this after the funeral? Nope, Signora is still here.
Pantalone will oversee the financial arrangements. Should
Getting more
technical
harbingers.
needs arise, seek out Sandrone.
Technical needs.
Sandrone.
Columbina falling asleep here. Utterly understood. Utterly risible. This is like a mini movie. Man, when are we gonna get a skin with somebody wearing one of those cool Fatui coats?
What a pain.
Is something wrong,
How does that
Sandrone?
coat fit over her wind-up key? Does it have like a split in the coattail for the key?
It's nothing. I was just reminded of something.
You seem off today too, Columbina. You were half
You
asleep
like
at that
talking
meeting.
about it?
I love the constant creaking. That's
How
like a
about some
key
company?
winding sound effect throughout the
I'm
trailer.
fine.
Perhaps just a cup of tea then.
And some treats to go with it?
Man, when's the last time Signora had a voice line?
What can I say?
We also
I
knew
ran
that they
into
all
these
hit
two
tea
and
parties
got dragged
together.
along.
Stop treating my room like your personal party venue.
All the girls are hanging out. Keep coping, everybody. Signora will be playable eventually.
Before I leave
They'll totally do it.
form this time.
The mountain sparrow. You missed a good one.
I actually think that it's
Count
possible.
yourself lucky.
I don't know if I'd pull for her
Having
even if it
private
does happen
thoughts
though.
is great until you're stuck sitting next to Dottore and Pantalone.
Yeah, that does sound
I'd
miserable.
rather have bought my own.
I thought you quite liked it. You even cried during Act 2.
I did not.
Well, when the principal soprano Vodyanitsa is on stage, it's hard not to be moved.
Ooh, I wonder if that's a character who'll be playable in Snezhnaya.
Shame I missed it. Though, I'm just glad I could make it here tonight.
Man,
I'm
Arlecchino
bound
in
for
casual
Fontaine after
attire.
this, and Rosaline's heading to Mondstadt and Inazuma.
Huh. For Her Majesty's
Oh, this will be the last time all of them are together. Oh, that's sad.
You really think she can pull it off then?
That cake looks so good, not gonna lie.
There are aspects of her vision that I share. That's enough for me. And you, Sandrone? Do you have a wish for the future?
A wish? Yeah!
Why did she join the Fatui? I don't know if we ever really got insight into that.
Columbina!
Pillow fight! That's a big bed.
Hey, get back here!
Nice catch. You're supposed to smack him with the pillow, not throw it. You're gonna run out of ammo at that rate. Alright, when are we now in the timeline?
Come in. Arlecchino? What's wrong?
Signora's dead.
Rosaline is dead.
Oh, the little butterfly came. The moth to the flame.
Was it worth it? Paying the ultimate price?
I don't think it was, personally.
Just to fulfill someone else's wish?
To be fair, Raiden was
What
the
did
one
it
that killed
all
her.
amount to? A few snide remarks at a shallow funeral?
Oh, we're cutting to the past here.
Utterly risible.
There, she said it.
What do you wish for?
Nothing really.
But I know what I don't want.
You'll think of something someday.
I sure hope you're right, Elaine.
Not something for me or anyone else, but a wish entirely your own.
We're gonna cry in her
When
character story, I
that
can
day
already tell.
comes, I will have something to give you.
When that day comes.
My final and most important gift.
That's the name of the trailer. Final gift. We're still hearing that cranking sound.
Your gift has been received. Ellen.
Oh, we fucking end there. All right, it's time for some analysis. So we're about to go way off the deep end and look back at this with a fine-tooth comb. So let's cut back to the beginning and start working our way. So we open on Elaine's funeral, and it's hard to tell from where the standing position is, but I guess her key does actually fit behind the cloak because it's just kind of resting on it at the back, because she is wearing the cloak very wide open. People begin to leave the funeral. Anything here worth mentioning? Not really. We get this really nice shot of a close-up of her iris as her eyes widen for a little bit of a few frames. Ooh, I love the hair animation. And then we cut to her sleeping. This was the image that was shown on Twitter when Hoyo announced that this trailer was going to be dropping in 3 days. And we are now 3 days in the future. Technically 3 days and a night in the future at this point. Almost 4 days. So I made sure to make sure I had enough free time in the scheduled afternoon to record something for this, because it's like 9:21 now, and I still have stuff I have to record for the YouTube channel later. I'm going to go off-stream record the most recent, or another week's into the Nicole story nonsense, because that thing's weekly locked, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, it's nice to see that she sleeps face down with her key up. Makes kind of fun sense. People have been making jokes about that. Because even in the Nod Cry Song of the Broken Moon Act 7 or 8, where you get to play as Sandrone for a little bit, where actually technically you play as Polonia for a little bit, she sits in the chair, scooched up forward to the point to where her key isn't hitting the back of the chair. I would just use stools, personally, would be my workaround, but, man, that actually kind of sucked now that I think about it. You could never really lean back in a chair. I love leaning back in chairs and slouching and like kicking my feet up on the table. I'm a very stereotypical casual guy that way. Sandrone could never. And then, just to play back the audio here in this scene, we have Columbina singing, just like is mentioned in the Song of the Welkin Moon quests, that she was always singing outside of Sandrone's room and she never liked it. Although, considering that we actually hear this at the funeral sequence here is actually Sandrone's dream, which is why we probably hear that singing in the background here. Which is why that scene is very significant. Which, also in Sandrone's diary, it's worth mentioning that when she was at this funeral, she looked up at the moon as if it was her only friend. So there's always been a deep connection between Sandrone and the moon. And I wonder if that's why she's going to be drawn to Columbina. Because she definitely knew more than she let on in the Welkin Moon quests about Columbina's origins as the Moon Maiden and whatnot. We get a little bit of their hostile negotiations, and you always said rude things to me, as Columbina would say. And this interaction between the two of them is really cute, because it's really one-sided how one of them is pleasant and unannoyed, while Sandrone looks very bewildered and very annoyed. And apparently, Sandrone seems to oversleep. And, now that I think about it, I guess as a mechanical creation, she still needs sleep because reasons? I do wonder if that key requires to be wound up. Or, like, how she does maintenance on herself. These are questions that are unrelated to the images that are on screen right now. And actually, this little quote here about, have you ever heard of knocking? Yes, but I decided to sing to wake you up instead because it seemed you had to be having an unpleasant dream. That's really sweet, and it really shows how much Columbina really cares about Sandrone, even though their relationship is very, very odd, to say the least. Even Dottore found their relationship to be very, very odd indeed. I also love how unkempt her hair is drawn here, with even the stray strands every which way. But I like this type of hair. because it reminds me of myself, about how my hair is also unkempt and has stray hairs every which way. Because I have a little bit of an aesthetic, as some might say, and many of my close friends call me Goldbeard. I will leave it to your imagination as to why people call me that. Anyway, Columbina is being woken up. Sorry, Columbina is waking up Sandrone here to... I like her pajamas. To get her ready for a Harbinger meeting, which apparently seems to be the announcement of the assignment of getting the Gnosis, which means this meeting could probably be like a couple hundred years in the past, for all we know. That being said, I don't remember when specifically Elaine dies, so this would probably be sometime after Sandrone has joined the Fatui, obviously. And based on the other people we see present at the meeting, that means that Senora is also here. Also, this might be an animation error here, because I think her key is missing in this here. Might be a continuity. No, wait, we can see the key. It's right here. It just doesn't look... It's right between her hair part. I don't think I ever noticed how long Sandrone's hair was, but that's a pretty common theme in Hoyo design, where they have a long hair in the back. Also, she is in bed, and that's right, because her hair is normally tied up in a bun. Okay, that's right. So we transition from her in her pajamas to this meeting with Guillotine after seeing the doctor. This is probably right after Elaine finds out that whatever he has is terminal, because he is an old man. And it's really sad. For those who haven't played through the Narsenkreuz Ordo questline and didn't really connect a lot of the dots with Sandrone's past, she is one of the magnum opuses, or one of the final creations that Elaine Guillotine made, in the image of his dead sister, Marianne. Now, if you do the Narsenkreuz Ordo questlines, you find out that she's kind of, sort of alive, but, like, split into multiple forms because she fused with Director Lyris, who was an Oceanid. Now there's, like, 2 Mariannes. I wonder if Sandrone's quest that we're gonna get in the next actual story update is going to tie into the Narsenkreuz Ordo questlines. Because we've been doing this thing lately where characters from World Quests are starting to show up in the main story, and it's probably my favorite thing that they've started to do more and more of, ever since, I want to say, like, Nahida's birthday event, like last year, where she was where Sarush shows up. And we got to see that most recently with the Act 9 and 10 of Song of the Welkin Moon, where Jet and Rana show up. Who remembers Rana? Rana was the entire motivation behind the Aranara quest line, and it's so great to see her in a world quest. I wish she got as much love as Jet did. I love Jet, don't get me wrong, I love Jet just as much as everyone else does. But when you compare Jet and Rana did not get written very well in the story. Hell, Rana didn't get written very well in her own character story. She could have accompanied us in, like, the Aranara quest line as, like, a ghost, or, like, they could have had her as a leyline ghost or something. But that's a nitpick for a later time, and I'm going to have to get back into talking about this. So we see Elaine here give the reveal of Polonia. I, for some reason, forgot that Polonia was not made before Sandrone, and I thought Sandrone was the final creation. But Polonia was built partially with the express purpose of protecting and keeping Sandrone alive. And one of the reasons why Sandrone even dies at the end of the Song of the Welkin Moon Act 8 is particularly because she overrode her self-preservation protocols to even allow herself to be sacrificed. She even changed, I believe, if I remember correctly, according to her diary, she changed the protection parameters of Polonia to protect the core rather than herself. I could be misremembering that. I have to go back and read Sandrone's diary, which I believe is still sitting in the Traveler's Room in the flagship. And then we cut and transition from here to that meeting that Columbina woke her up for. Unless it is a different meeting. This could be an entirely different meeting, though I kind of doubt it. It would just make a lot less sense continuity-wise. And it's really interesting that we get this shot of her with Polonia here, because it stands in direct contrast to how she appeared in the Winter Nights Lotso trailer, which is, I believe, the first time we ever saw Sandrone. I don't remember if she had been name-dropped before then. I don't think she was, but her first appearance was in the Winter Nights Lotso trailer. And she was sitting in Polonia's hand, which was also our first image of Polonia. And this image is a stark contrast to that because it is very similarly framed, except it's a close-up on Sandrone and Polonia in particular. But it looks like Sandrone might be standing here. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle if she's actually sitting in the hand or not. Yes, she is. When we get cut from behind, she is sitting in Polonia's hand. And based on who we see here, we can see Tartaglia, we can see Signora, we can see Colombina. There's the Jester. I want to say this is... Yeah, there's the Torre, there's Pantalone, this is Arlecchino. I don't see Scaramouche. So either he was here and was removed from this memory because of Irminsul shenanigans, or we don't see him from this angle. But Scaramouche has only been a member of the Fatuya Harbingers for like a couple hundred years. Arlecchino, I believe, is probably one of the youngest members of the Harbingers, now that I think about it. We're seeing this from multiple angles, close-ups here. Everyone's still in the same positions from the 180-degree rule. And then we have Colombina sleeping because she barely pays attention here, which is also funny because Tartaglia is also seems to be sleeping. I'm surprised Tartaglia and Colombina don't seem to get along. Also, is Capitano not here? I just realized I don't think Capitano's here at this meeting either. So Sandrone is currently spacing out. She's in her own head and not paying attention to the meeting, which is her getting called out is actually what wakes up Colombina here, which is kind of cute. And then we move in and transition back into another cutscene. Sorry, another memory scene. No, we just transition to the end. Okay. I really want to get one of these coats, and it's really nice to see how her coattails plunk out right after she removes the big overcoat. Let's fast forward through this real quick. Then we have everyone showing up at Sandrone's room for a tea party as we start to speed through the end of this. It's funny to see them just poking up from behind the door. And Signora has brought treats and cakes. It's really interesting to hear about this dynamic during the Song of the Welcome In story, that they had this weird tea party dynamic between, like, I guess all the female members of the Harbingers. But it's also really interesting to paint this other side of Signora that we never really get to see in the main story, because she kind of gets portrayed as like a big bad villain at the start of Mondstadt, and the part appears to be the one behind all the stuff going on in Inazuma. It's really nice to see her in this different light. And I guess they really want to hammer it home that she's dead. Because when we get later in this trailer, we remind everybody that she died. And could they do challenge, make Sandrone look less doll-like? Challenge level difficulty impossible. Also, who sits like this? Just saying, who sits like this? She's like hunched over, technically with her ass from this angle not even touching the ground. She's like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings over here. And when we get a close-up of this cake at a few times in this, that cake looks damn good. That looks like funfetti cake, but also strawberry shortcake at the same thing. Do we get another close-up of this cake later? The principal soprano, Varinitsa, is on stage. This is a character. This is they go out of the way to name this character, which means that we're probably going to get someone that's going to be the Yunjin of Snezhnaya. So this is a character that we're probably going to get as a playable character later on in Snezhnaya. At the time of recording this, the trailer for the special program is not out yet. I think it's been announced. I'm not sure if it's been announced yet for Luna 7 or Luna 8, whatever. Sorry, the next patch with Sandrone in it. That's probably going to be... We're probably going to get some Snezhnaya trailers around the time of that. So maybe we'll get to see this character. That's a name we're going to have to remember. Oh, wow. That cake is really divvied up at this point. Also, we get this really cool look at Arlecchino in, like, casual attire, unbuttoned. I kind of forget that Arlecchino wears a tie sometimes. And then we talk about how everyone's being distributed. By the way, why is Rosalind getting sent to multiple regions when everyone else gets to stay in one location? They got, like, more Harbingers than they have regions. They could easily double down. Why send Signora to Inazuma? Senditore. All for Her Majesty's plan. Yeah, look at this cake. That icing looks delicious. It's got sprinkles. It's strawberry shortcake. Possibly even angel food cake. Who knows? I want some of that cake. I'm dieting right now, and I'm really cutting down on my sugar intake. Like, you're seeing me drink a 0 sugar Dr. Pepper right now. And, like, the other drink I have over here is some vitamin water that is also 0 sugar. So, like, I've been really cutting back on my sugar intake. But man, does that cake look good! Oh, we have Columbina in the background setting up her master plan to throw a pillow. Columbina! There we go. I also like how this is really funny. You can tell how mad she is, but either she has really bad aim or she actually never intended to harm her, because look at how little Columbina actually tries to dodge this. She barely moves. She moves. Let's go frame by frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. She moves like a half step at most. That second pillow, on the other hand, I have no justification for. Maybe she just had a bad aim on that first shot. Unless somebody else threw that pillow. Or maybe they just both suck. They both seem to be really bad aim, because Arlecchino is almost getting hit by 2 of these pillows that are being thrown by Columbina here. If only times like this could stay as peaceful forever. As I mentioned earlier, we now cut back into this point in view where we get the news of Rosalind's untimely end. It's only fitting that Arlecchino is the one that delivers this news, because even though Arlecchino wasn't in Inazuma, our very first mentions of the Knave come from the Super Secret Fortune Slip questline, where we learn about the previous Knave, which was Crucibina, Arlecchino's mother. And there was the whole poisoning plot. The actual person that was more or less behind a lot of what was going on in Inazuma was Crucibina. So it's kind of weird that Crucibina was not really mentioned as much. If I think they rewrote the story of Inazuma today, I feel like Crucibina would have probably been much more involved in the Inazuma storyline. And if Crucibina wasn't dead, I kind of... I haven't done a reaction to Lowen's character trailer. I'm going to do all the character trailer reactions in a separate video. That's coming later. That'll come when Sandrone's character trailer drops. We're just reacting to this animated short. We're in the analysis section, so the reaction is further back. You can rewind if you want. But I think it's really interesting that I feel like if... back on topic. I feel like if Crucibina was alive today, in the present day, I believe instead of Rosalind being sent to Inazuma, it would have been Crucibina and, I guess, Scaramouche being sent there. Which, actually, in the previous meeting where they mentioned that Rosalind's being sent to Inazuma, we did not see Scaramouche in that previous meeting. I drew attention to it. But clearly he was also sent to Inazuma as part of that questline, and he's the one that kind of ends up with the Gnosis as well, because Yai ends up giving it to him in order to save us at one point during the story. But it's really interesting that I actually, my fun little headcanon is that the reason why this entire animated short is actually Sandrone's memories. That's my headcanon. And that is the reason why Scaramouche isn't here, is because of the whole Irminsul deletion thing. So, he should have been in that memory of the meeting, but wasn't. And that's my headcanon. Then we cut back to this talk of the wishes, which kind of irkens back to that cutscene we got in the Act 8 of the Welcome Moon story, where we really don't... Sandrone still doesn't know what she actually wants. In fact, her first wish here was the wish for Elaine to get better. But he wants her to wish something for herself. And you'll think of something someday. I feel like when we get Sandrone's character story in the next update, we're finally going to get an answer to that. We're going to find out what she actually wants. And maybe she's going to be a tag-along, similar to how Enefa was introduced in Natlan, and then was a major character throughout the storyline of the Nodcry story. I have a feeling that they're setting up Sandrone to be the same for Sneznaya. We're probably going to get a heart-wrenching and horribly depressing story with Sandrone in the next update. And then she's going to be a little bit of our side character throughout the Sneznaya updates. I feel like that's what we're setting up here. And just like the title of the video, this is the final gift. She received the final gift from Elaine at his death. My final and most important gift. It's kept very vague what that was, but I guess if you read Sandrone's diary after the events of the Luna storyline, you could say in a way that this gift was the freedom to pursue her own dreams and wishes. And then at some point after this, she joins the Fatui. Well, this has been one of my longest, if not longest, reaction trailers to anything in Genshin Impact. I think my reaction to Arlecchino's animated short was nowhere near this long, because we have been doing 32 minutes of just straight reaction to this. This was a really long breakdown. It was a 7.5 minute, almost 8-minute trailer, so there was a lot to say. But that's going to be all from me here. I want more of that cake. So, just to have a little bit more of my cake and eat it too, that's going to be all from this stream. So, as we move into the outro, just a reminder, I do live stuff on Twitch TV/Sheet Streams. You can find links to that in the description of this video when I get around to uploading it. I'm probably going to edit this down and probably add some background music to the parts where I'm not playing music in the background, which, by the way, the music in this animation was outstanding on its own. I look forward to when it gets released as a separate OST. And in the future, if you want to see more content like this, the way to do it would be to look at my playlist. I keep all my reactions in a playlist on the YouTube channel, Dan Sheets on YouTube. And if you want to stay up to date on when I'm doing stuff live and what I'm doing when I'm live, or just updates in general, it's on my Discord, Sheets and Sodor. Links, again, will be in the description of most videos on the channel. So, in the future, updates, I mentioned it a little bit ago, we will be doing a live stream reaction to all of the Song of the Welkin Moon character trailers, since I have watched only one of them, ironically. I watched Varka's because everybody told me to, and people were spamming clips of it in some of my chats and DMs, so I felt I had to do a reaction to that one before I kept getting more and more spoiled. But I have seen none of the others yet, but people have told me that they're really, really good, so that's going to be something that we'll be doing in the future. That will probably be the next stream I do, unless there's enough interest in me doing a reaction to the special program for the final Luna patch when that goes live, and probably, if I had to guess, this coming Friday. They tend to do those on Fridays. It's really weird that just a random Sunday they decided to drop this animated short. At least they gave us prior notice that it was coming out, but I'm kind of just rambling at this point, and I want to get around to editing this, and I still have to do some off-stream stuff that I need to record for the channel, so I'm going to start wrapping it up here. I've said all of my pieces that I need to say. We've read the description. We did our reaction. I did almost 25 plus minutes of analysis. This is probably one of my top 10 favorite characters in Genshin, and I'm looking forward to pulling her. We have about almost 200 pulls saved just for her, so I will see you all in the next stream, in the next video. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.